use a combination of several business intelligence tools specific to Excel. 2013, we're going to look at Power View, Power Query, and Power Pivot as some of our options to be creating a HD Insight for a big data analysis solution. Again, this session is really intended to provide an introduction level to the concept of big data analysis and discuss in general terms and topics and share information about, and provide as a guide and reference and some of the findings I've come across in learning about HD Insight. So if you're looking at this, you've probably come across, what is big data? You may have that question. The basic definition there, in my research, there are many definitions, and they vary, and I think they actually vary mostly because of a certain set of circumstances. But we will talk about the most common definition that's currently provided. We'll also discuss the most common characteristics of big data, which is known as the big V's of big data, and we'll also look at the traditional and modern architectures of data processing at a high level. And at a high level, we'll also discuss some of the most common use cases for big data solutions and some of the determining factors for big data adoption. So, really quickly, when I got started in the big data, I was always asking, what is big data? And it seemed a little confusing to me at first, but I think really some of the things I look for is just the simple definition. And really, I found the most simplest definition by Wikipedia, and Wikipedia defines big data as a collection of data sets so large and complex that it becomes difficult to process using on-hand database management tools or traditional data processing applications. So really, in simple terms, big data consists of very large volumes of heterogeneous data that is being generated often and at very high speeds. Sometimes these data, mostly in most cases, these data sets cannot be managed and processed using the traditional database management tools that we talked about, or the applications you may have available to you within your organization. So with that being said, it requires a new set of tools, applications, and frameworks to process and manage the data. There are some things that are so big that they have implications for everyone, whether we want to or not, and I believe big data is one of those things which is completely transforming the way we do business, the way we shop, the way we interact with one another, and it's impacting probably almost every part of our daily lives. So, again, the basic idea behind big data is that everything is increasingly leaving a digital trace. Everything that we do, from our banking transactions to our shopping transactions, are leaving a digital trace or data behind, in which we and others will really like to use and analyze. So really, big data refers to our ability to make use of the ever-increasing volumes of data as it is. So kind of an evolution of big data. Data has been around for centuries, but it's been always driven by the need for storage, processing, and the management of data. Basically, since the beginning of human civilization, human societies have always needed to have a way to capture the data or store the data, process the data, and manage it in a way that can be passed on to other generations. So if you go back a few centuries, in the ancient days, humans used very primitive ways to capture and store data, for example, like carving on stones, metal sheets, and wood. Then with new inventions as time advanced, a few centuries later, we started capturing data on paper, cloth, etc. Again, as we continue to progress through time, we now capture data, anything from USB drives, compact discs, hard drives, those types of media as well. So in fact, the curiosity to capture, store, and process the data has enabled human beings to pass on knowledge and research from one generation to the next, so that the next generation really does not have to reinvent the wheel or rediscover those research and that data or store that data. So as we can see from this trend, the capacity of data storage has been increasing throughout basically human history, and today with the availability of a cloud infrastructure, potentially one can store unlimited amounts of data. Today we can store terabytes and petabytes of data as it's being generated, and we can process and store that and manage that data. So big data is really fueled by the increasing datafication, or as I like to say, the consumerization of the world, because we need the data and we need it now, which means we generate new data at alarming rates. So, and additionally, the other item that actually fuels big data is our increasing ability to harness and analyze large and complex data sets. So as I mentioned a little bit earlier, we were going to talk about a little bit of the characteristics of big data. So when we really say that we're dealing with big data, for some people it might be 1 terabyte of data. Others it may be 10 terabytes of data, and others it may be smaller than that. So for example, 100 gigabytes of data might be big in your organization or with what the tools that you have available to you. The basic characteristics of big data are really described by the 3 V's of big data: volume, velocity, and variety. Volume refers to the size of data that we're working with. So with the advancement with technology and with the invention of social media and the amount of data that's growing growing very rapidly. So we also have amounts of data being generated by machines, which is also now surpassing the human-generated data. So this is the size aspect of big data is referred to as volume. Additionally, velocity refers to the speed at which data is being generated. Different applications have different latency requirements, and in today's competitive world, we all have decision makers, managers, frontline people, all those needing to make decisions or analyze that data to have some type of understanding what might be happening. Sometimes they need it in near real-time scenarios. So in different fields of different areas of technology, we see data getting generated at different speeds. So a few examples, like trading stocks on the exchange, tweets on Twitter, and status updates like likes and shares on Facebook, just to name a few. So the speed aspect of data is referred to as velocity in the big data world. Finally, variety refers to the different formats in which data is being generated or stored. Different applications generate and store data in different formats, and in today's world there are very large volumes of unstructured data being generated apart from what we call structured data getting generated in your organization. So until the advancements in big data technologies, not only did we not have the ability to do this, we are now forced to consume this data using different frameworks, different types of applications. And apart from traditional flat files, spreadsheets, relational databases, and et cetera, we have a lot of unstructured data, data in the form of images, video files, web logs, sensor data, and many others. So this aspect is what we call the variety of big data. So those 3 are the basic tenets or the basic 3 V's of data, big data. One other one